You think you must be ready before you act. That is the first illusion you must destroy. In war, I never waited for readiness. The wind never waited. The enemy never waited. In life least of all. The one who prepares forever is the one who dies without ever having drawn his sword. You wake up and say, I'll begin when I feel more confident, when I learn a little more, when the time is right. But the battlefield does not wait for your comfort. And neither does destiny. The world belongs to those who step forward while others hesitate. The blade that rests in its sheath too long forgets how to strike. Understand this. Readiness is not a state of perfection. It is a decision. When you choose to move despite the shaking of your hands, you are ready. When you commit before certainty, you are ready. When you act before fear can take root, you are ready. Many warriors die in their minds long before they ever enter combat. They train endlessly. They seek the perfect stance, the perfect weather, the perfect moment. But the enemy does not wait for your perfection. He strikes while you think. Victory goes to the one who acts, not the one who prepares forever. So I tell you now, if you are waiting, you are losing. If you think preparation is protection, you misunderstand the way. You will never feel ready. But you must act anyway. This is the way of Musashi. The untrained eye mistakes stillness for passivity. But the warrior knows, stillness is stored power. It is the quiet before the strike, the breath before the roar, the moment before the world changes. I have seen men defeated not because they were slower, but because they moved too soon. In battle, movement without intention is noise. Action without clarity is chaos. But stillness, true stillness, is decision. It is control. You live in a world addicted to motion. They tell you, do something. React. Reply. But the warrior does not react. He observes. He conserves. He calculates. And then he acts. When your enemy moves in haste, let him tire. Let him swing at air, burn his energy, show his patterns. And you stand like a mountain, unmoved. Not because you are weak, but because your stillness is heavier than his storm. Stillness is not fear. It is restraint. It is mastery over the instinct to flinch. Most people flinch at pressure. They fold when confronted. But you must become the one who pauses, and then strikes with absolute precision. Think of the archer who holds his breath. Think of the swordsman who waits one heartbeat longer than his foe. That is the edge. That is the way. The world respects noise, but it fears silence. In stillness there is mystery, and in mystery there is power. They cannot predict the one who watches in silence. Let others underestimate your quiet. Let them mistake your calm for weakness. When the time comes, remind them, a still blade is not a dull blade. It is simply waiting. Waiting to end the fight with a single cut. This is the way of Musashi. Before you strike, you must see, truly see, not just with your eyes, but with your attention. I trained myself to observe not only the enemy's stance, but the tension in his breath, the story in his stillness, the fear hidden in his grip. These are things the undisciplined miss, but they matter more than the sword itself. The undisciplined man moves blindly. He is ruled by impulse, by noise, by the surface. But a warrior watches in silence. He lets the world reveal itself before he enters it. Observation is discipline. It is the refusal to act before the picture is clear. In stillness you learn. In silence you gather truth. In patience you win. Today people see nothing. They scroll endlessly. They react without reflection. They speak before they understand. But a mind that observes, that mind is dangerous. It knows what others do not. Look beyond appearances. Is the confident man truly confident? Is the aggressive one hiding fear? Is the loudest voice the most secure, or the most afraid? In combat, I studied every blink, every shuffle, every unnecessary breath. Observation gave me control. It revealed weakness, rhythm, pattern. And with that knowledge, my strike was not a guess. It was inevitability. When you enter a room, observe everything. The temperature, the posture, the silence between words. Train yourself to notice what others ignore. This habit is your advantage. Do not waste energy trying to control the world. Instead, learn to read it. When you understand what is, you can shape what will be. Do not rush to act. Do not rush to speak. Observe, then act with certainty. This is the way of Musashi. To be ruled by emotion is to give your sword to the enemy. Anger, fear, pride, doubt, these are poisons in the hand of a warrior. They cloud the mind, slow the strike, and open the door to defeat. I learned early. If I could not separate myself from emotion, I could not survive. Most people live inside their feelings. They react, they rage, they panic. But the warrior watches his emotions as he would an opponent, never turning his back, never letting them come too close. Emotions are like waves. They rise, they crash, but if you remain rooted, they pass. This is not the absence of feeling. It is the mastery of it. You will feel fear, but you will not obey it. You will feel anger, but you will not act from it. You will feel doubt, but you will keep moving. Detachment does not make you cold. It makes you clear. A clear mind sees the path. A calm spirit holds the sword steady. In combat, I saw many fall because they took insults personally. They lost focus. They fought to prove something, and lost everything. The moment you fight to be seen, you have already lost the unseen battle. Your enemy will try to provoke you. The world will test your patience. People will misunderstand you, attack you, betray you. Let them. Do not respond with fire. Respond with stillness. Train yourself to pause. In the pause, you regain control. Feelings are visitors. Let them come. Let them go. But never let them steer the blade. You must stand outside yourself, watching your thoughts, watching your urges, and choosing the path with precision, not emotion. This is strength. This is control. This is the way of Musashi. When you move, it must be to end it. There is no second strike in my philosophy. The blade must not ask for permission twice. The hesitation between attempts is where warriors die. In my duels, I did not swing to test, to threaten, or to impress. I struck to finish, not to wound, to end. Most people fear commitment. They act with a foot in and a foot out. They say, I'll try, or I'll see. That is the language of defeat. The blade that wavers does not cut. The finality of your action reflects the clarity of your intention. When you strike, commit, not halfway, not hesitantly. You must believe fully in the necessity of your action. That belief is what guides the hand, what breaks resistance, what makes your presence undeniable. In life, many swing their swords timidly, in their careers, in their relationships, in their purpose. They hope, they wish, they test the waters, but they never dominate, because domination requires decision. Decide that your move is the last move necessary. Decide that your word is final. Decide that your path is already carved by your own hand, and then walk it without apology. Hesitation is more dangerous than any enemy. I have seen warriors with great skill die because they paused to doubt. While they questioned, I ended the fight. The world belongs to those who strike with finality, the ones who do not return to the sheath unsure, the ones who do not ask the blade to act twice. Prepare as long as you need, but when the moment comes, move once. Move right. Move to end it. This is the way of Musashi. Reaction is slavery. Response is strategy. The world will poke, prod, insult, and provoke. It will attempt to control you through your emotions. But the warrior who reacts gives away his position. He becomes predictable, controllable, weak. In battle, I never reacted. I responded. There is a difference. Reaction is immediate, emotional, unfiltered. Response is measured, intentional, precise. Those who react are puppets to circumstance. They give their power to the enemy, to strangers, to critics, to chaos. But those who respond remain in control, unmoved by noise, guided by clarity. Imagine two swordsmen. One lunges in anger. The other steps aside, calm, watching, calculating. The one who reacts dies quickly. The one who responds survives. Do not be like the one who is easily provoked. That man loses to his own impulses. Be the one who waits, watches, and then moves once with purpose. In life, people will trigger you. They will test your patience, challenge your values, question your worth. Let them. Your job is not to react. It is to remain rooted like a mountain. The space between stimulus and action is your battlefield. Most people never pause. They swing back at every word, lash out at every slight. But the warrior pauses, and in that pause, he makes his decision. The world cannot manipulate the one who refuses to react. Practice the pause. In the pause, you reclaim power. When you respond, you act as master, not servant. You choose your energy. You choose your timing. You choose your strike. Let others drown in their emotions. Let them burn their strength on meaningless reactions. You conserve. Conserve until the moment matters. Then respond. With calm precision. With undeniable force. This is the way of Musashi. Discipline is not born in battle. It is forged in routine. Before I ever stepped into a duel, I had already won. Not because I was faster or stronger, but because I was consistent. My rituals made me sharp when others were dull. calm when others were shaken, ready when others were still sleeping. The warrior is not created in the moment of crisis. He is revealed. What you do every day becomes who you are. If you train your body becomes reliable. If you train your mind becomes unshakable. If you live without structure, your spirit becomes soft. Many seek motivation. Few build rituals. But rituals are superior. Motivation fades. Emotion shifts. But ritual remains. It does not care how you feel. It only requires that you show up. I woke at the same hour. I practiced the same cuts. I studied the same passages. Not because it was exciting, but because it was necessary. Ritual is repetition with purpose. Each motion, each breath, each step repeated until it becomes part of you. Until it is no longer practice, but instinct. You must build your own rituals. Simple. Unbreakable. Begin your day the same way. Move your body. Sharpen your mind. Choose silence before noise. Choose clarity before chaos. The enemy trains too, but the one whose rituals are sacred will endure when conditions collapse. When the body is tired, ritual carries you. When the mind is fogged, ritual clears you. Do not rely on willpower. Rely on structure. Do not wait for the moment. Prepare for it daily. Forge yourself in ritual. Until you no longer need to think. Until you simply are. This is the way of Musashi. The strongest strike is the one not yet thrown. In my battles, I did not win by attacking first. I won by knowing when not to attack. The fool rushes in with noise. The master waits in silence. And when he moves, it is with such force and precision that resistance is futile. Restraint is not weakness. It is strength under control. Most men believe power is in domination, louder voices, faster blades, aggressive force. But real power is the ability to wait, to hold back, to choose not to act, even when you can. Because the one who must act is a slave to impulse. The one who chooses not to act, he is free. Imagine you are insulted. Your pride rises. Your blood heats. But instead of reacting, you observe. You breathe. You do nothing. And in doing nothing, you gain everything. Control, clarity, power. The enemy expects fury. He expects you to lash out. But when you restrain yourself, you become unreadable. And what cannot be read cannot be controlled. True strength lies in silence that does not beg to be broken. Restraint teaches patience. Patience teaches timing. And timing wins battles before they even begin. Hold your sword a second longer. Hold your words a moment more. Let the world burn in chaos, while you remain untouched, unshaken, unmoved. You are not less powerful for not acting. You are more powerful because you could, and didn't. Train yourself to wait without tension. Train yourself to act only when it matters most. This is the way of Musashi. Let the enemy step into the fire. Let him show his hand. Let him reveal himself. When I fought, I did not rush forward. I waited. I let my opponent move first, because in that movement, I could see everything. His fear, his habit, his intention. The one who moves first is often the one who loses. He believes he has the advantage. But what he does not know is that he is exposing himself. Every action is a message. Every attack is information. And I was always reading. Most people fear being passive. They are told to be assertive, aggressive, dominant. But power is not in the first move. Power is in the understanding of when to move. Let others chase. Let them lunge. Let them shout. Let them try to prove something. You watch. Calculate. Wait. The less you do, the more they show. This is the art of baiting chaos. Create the illusion of stillness, and they will step into it. Thinking you are unready, they lower their guard. Thinking you are weak, they overcommit. That is when you strike. In life, people rush into conversations, conflicts, commitments. They act out of pressure, fear, urgency. But the warrior waits. He lets others move first, into mistakes. You do not have to be the first to act to be the one in control. Control is watching your opponent's every move, and knowing yours will come last, but it will end the battle. So hold your center. Let them move first. Let them reveal everything. Then move once and finish it. This is the way of Musashi. There is no such thing as a half measure in battle. If you move, move to end it. If you strike, strike to finish. There is no honor in prolonging what should be decided in a single breath. I did not strike twice because I struck right the first time. Precision is not born from chaos. It is born from certainty. You do not need 10 moves when one is enough. But that one must be absolute. Many enter conflict uncommitted. They hesitate, hoping the fight will resolve itself. But hesitation invites defeat. Doubt opens wounds. Softness costs lives. Your movement must be final. Not because you are reckless, but because you are resolved. This is why I trained endlessly, so that when the time came, there would be no thought, no fear, no hesitation. Only execution. Life is no different. When you decide, commit. When you speak, mean it. When you act, complete it. Do not leave things open. Do not retreat halfway. Do not promise what you will not pursue with full force. The unfinished blade rusts. The incomplete path breaks. The uncommitted mind fractures. When you move, move as if it is the only move you'll get. Because in battle, and in life, sometimes it is. One word can end a conflict. One decision can end doubt. One strike can end the war. So train, prepare, study. But when the time comes to act, act like it's the last time you'll ever be allowed to. And make it count. This is the way of Musashi.